Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan, and thanks for joining me on today's Sticks Radio Show. I have two guests today. Later on in the show, I'm going to be talking to a gentleman called David Priest, who's the man behind Bedrock. But first, in a little few minutes, I'm going to be talking to a gentleman who is, well, one of the stars of perhaps the biggest TV show in Britain at the moment, Strictly Come Dancing. His name is Pasha Kovalev. We're talking to him in a few minutes after this song, which is Sylvester and the disco hit You Make Me Feel Mighty Real.
MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
My first guest on the show today is Pasha Kovalev. A lot of people know him from the biggest show on TV, Strictly Come Dancing. How are you doing, Pasha?
Yes, hi, I'm here. Thank you for having me.
No problem, it's my absolute pleasure. I'm going to probably ask the stupid question. How's it feel to be part of, should we say, the biggest show on TV at the moment?
It feels absolutely amazing because well, I'm a ballroom dancer and I've been practicing all my life, and suddenly there is a show on TV which uses my talent exactly. So I'm doing what I've been practicing for entire life and doing what I love and actually get paid.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, I must admit, I've talked to a few like celebrities who've been on reality shows. None of them have been on Strictly, ironically, and they say it's great because I get to learn a talent and get paid at the same time. So it's a bit like you're doing what you love and you're getting paid. It's, I mean, well, I suppose like most of us, really, isn't it? So,
Yes.
I mean, no secret you were born out in Siberia. When did you first discover you could dance?
Well, first, when I was about 8 years old, my mom took me to a dance competition, and I saw what's going on stage. It was a big ballroom dance show, and I just loved everything. And I guess it was middle of winter, and suddenly you see all those lights and colors and girls in skimpy outfits, and I said, "Mom, just take me to the dance studio because I want to meet those girls." So
Yeah.
that's how it started. And I think at first I didn't even think about dancing that much, and I was doing lots of different things, lots of different kinds of sports and martial arts, and one by one they all faded away, and dancing still stayed there, and suddenly I started getting good results on the dance competitions, and that's when I really started thinking of dancing more seriously.
Because you moved out about 12, 13 years ago now, so I'm doing my maths this time in the morning. You moved out to the States. You moved out to the United States from Russia. That must have been a bit of an upheaval all of a sudden, to me.
It was a definitely big change because Russia at that point was overcoming lots of different things and switching from communism to democracy, and but it kind of went a little bit on the side away from me because I was always in a dance studio. I was always practicing and kind of submerged in that lifestyle. But in the United States, it was just another opportunity for me to advance with my dancing, to make a little bit more money, to be able to spend money on my costumes, on my competitions, and freedom of choosing the teachers I wanted to work with. So it was a great move. I don't regret it.
Yeah. You say you spend a lot of time practicing. I mean, how long did you spend practicing then, and how long do you spend practicing now?
Well, when I was just growing up, you go to rehearsal pretty much every day and spend 3-4 hours rehearsing because you still have school to do and homework, and then after all that done, you just go to the studio, and it was intense from 6 to 10 usually you practice. Now it's a little bit different because of all the work I'm doing, but in preparation for our upcoming tour with Katya, we spend 8-9 hours a day putting all the dances together, rehearsing the program, so it's quite busy. Once the tour is on the road, then it's just a show every day and not much practice going on, just repeating what we already created.
8 hours a day is still quite heavy going, but obviously you do teaching as well as the dancing on Strictly, and which do you actually prefer? Do you prefer the performing, or do you prefer the teaching, or do you like both?
I love teaching. I've been teaching since I was 14, and I guess I have enough experience in it. On Strictly, you cannot take one away from another because the format of the show is that you have to prepare your celebrity for the to do a new dance every week, and you have to dance it with them. So it's kind of those two go hand in hand, and I cannot really say that I love one more than another, but when you're performing something else clicks in and you just enjoy it a little bit probably more because it's live, because it's audience, because it's cameras, because there are a lot of people watching.
Do you still get nervous?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you don't get a little bit nervous before you go to dance, then something is wrong with you. Yes, I think one smart person once told me, don't confuse fear with excitement. So I prefer to use it in that regard, that you kind of get too excited, and that's what makes you feel a little bit nervous. But once the music starts, it all goes away, and you just there with your partner, with the music, with the audience, and nothing else exists.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about your tour in a minute. Let's talk a little bit more about Strictly. Do you know who actually? I mean, there's a big show where there's the reveal of who your partner's going to be. I mean, you've had some lovely partners. You've had Kimberly, and you had and you also before that you had Chelsea, and then you had the lovely Rachel as well. Do you know in advance who you're getting? Or is that
no?
You don't. You seriously don't know?
No, actually, a lot of people ask the same question, and the truth is that we meet them for the first time and realize who we actually dancing with on the show for this coming series on the live. So what audience see, that's exactly how it's going on. And yes, we know the lineup, but we have no clue who we're going to be paired up with.
And also, I mean, you say you have to, the celebrity and you have to perform every week. You have to do the choreography every week. Do you, before the series start, think I've got 14 weeks to do, I've got to do 14 lots of choreography? Do you already have that in advance, or are you sort of doing the choreography almost like a week in advance, or how does that work?
Well, you kind of prepare ideas as far as music, but that also not always works, because you don't know who you're going to get. It's going to be a little bit younger person, and then you would have to go with the more modern songs, or it's an older person, and then you would have to lean towards the classics. Can they dance, and then you can put more difficult steps in, or can they just do the performance and character aspect, where you focus more on maybe the comedy side of the show? So you don't really have a clue what exact direction you're going to choose for the celebrity. So though we have ideas about the music, we don't really do choreography up until you meet the celebrity and you know what you're dealing with.
And then you sort of got it in your mind, but then you think, I won't be able to do that with that person.
Yes, you have to adjust, because once you have the person in front of you, then you try to evaluate how good of a dancers they are and what kind of choreography you can give them to make them look the best they possibly can. And if you work out choreography long before, it will all change accordingly to the celebrity you get. So there is no reason to do all that work so far in advance.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were very unlucky to go out as early as you did this year, because I thought Rachel and you were. I think it was a little bit of tactical voting, but I won't draw you on that one because I don't think it's very fair. I mean, what has been your favourite dance so far you've done on Strictly?
Well, there are a few dances. I mean, with every celebrity I had on Strictly, we had a lot of amazing dancers, and something what stuck in mind is the dances with Chelsea, for example. We did an amazing quick step together to the classic Sing, 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 which I think everybody remembered when she dressed up as a stewardess and I was late for my plane. Then the Shrek, of course, when I had to put the Shrek costume and mask and ears, that kind of became a memorable dance. With Kimberly, there were lots of amazing dances, and for example, our Charleston, where we had a lot of tricks and got first 4/10s on a series on that series. I mean, with Rachel, the last dance when we had to be dressed as a ghost and do American Smooth Venus Waltz because it was the first time she actually got rid of all the fear and submerged herself into dance, and there's nothing else existed. So lots and lots of memorable dances, and I think most of them are character dances where you actually coordinate together costumes and a storyline and a dancing, of course.
Right, that's great. I mean, have you yourself personally a favourite dance? I mean, not necessarily on Strictly. If I said to you, you can dance one dance today, and it's the only dance you can do.
Only one dance?
Only one, yes. I'm a mean man.
Oh, you're taking it away from me now, huh? No, you know what? I'm specializing in Latin, so something Latin would do something like cha-cha, paso doble, or rumba. At this point, after dancing it for so long, I hardly can take and single out one of the dances because they're all so different. They all have different character, and they all have different kind of lyrical approach and emotional charge. So it's hard to take one of them, but Latin is definitely my favorite style out of Latin and ballroom.
Yeah, I mean, is there somebody you in the dance world, even perhaps we don't know, or somebody in the public eye that you'd like to dance with?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, of course, you wanted to maybe do something like something more creative, and I think artists like Madonna, for example, who creates an amazing show every time she goes on tour. So she has a lot of creativity and imagination. That would be awesome to maybe learn a little bit from her and get something for yourself, or great dancers like Beyonce, who you see in every dance video. She's shaking it like there is no tomorrow. So it would be nice to try and teach them ballroom and see how you can incorporate their abilities and knowledge. But the reality is that on Strictly, you don't really know who you're going to get. No. That is part of the challenge, I guess, to find the key to the person who you're going to be dancing with during this series, and make that work to the best of their abilities.
I think you'd have your hands full with me. I have 2 left feet, and it doesn't happen, I'm afraid, with me. Anyway,
you never know. You'll be surprised how many people who thought they were who thought they had 2 left feet actually came out and rediscovered themselves. And with the right teacher, you can do amazing things. Trust me.
Yeah, that's good. Anyway, let's talk about the show. You're on tour with Katia.
Correct.
And I'll quickly go through the dates in the local area where the people can see you. I'll do that, and then we'll talk about the show. You're in you're at the Wycombe Swan in High Wycombe on Wednesday the 9th of April, and then the following night you're at the Dunstable, the Grove Theatre. That's Thursday the 10th. And then in May you're coming to Stevenage, which is Tuesday. Seems to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesday the 6th of May, and then finally in the area on Tuesday the 20th of May. You're at the Wireless Centre in Potter's Bar. Now, you were out last year with Katia as well. What can people see this year that they didn't see last year? Or if they haven't seen you before, what can they expect to see in the show?
Well, what they can expect to see is it's a huge kaleidoscope of Strictly. We took everything, what people love so much about Strictly, different dance styles, amazing music, obviously lots of sparkles in our costumes. We, of course, redesigned the entire show, and all the dances are new. We have a little bit more dancers coming with us this time around, yes, on this tour. And at the same time, we wanted to keep things which people liked from the previous tours, and keep it very cozy. We love to involve our audience into what's going on stage. We have a Q&A session where people can ask anything they wanted to ask about Strictly or about us, and we'll answer it. And also we love to bring some people on stage and teach them a little dance, and they will be judged based on their performance and kind of experience strictly right there in life for themselves. And another feature in our show, which we really liked and the audience seemed to love a lot, is that for every performance we have dancing with us a local young dance school, dance studio, which brings more energy, and you just it amazes me how much creativity those little guys have. So overall, it's a mix of things you've seen on Strictly: costumes, music, all the dance styles, all the dances you love from Strictly, and also this coziness of you being able to be part of the show in a way.
Yeah, I must admit, I had the pleasure of seeing Brendan about a year ago. It was in his show, and I was amazed by that. I must admit, if I come to see you, I'll make sure you don't spot me, because I don't want to be going on that stage, I can assure you. Anyway,
well, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
No, nobody else will be. I'll empty the place. Anyway, one last question before I let you go. Do you actually know if you're taking part in Strictly this Christmas?
I wish I would know that, but we kind of not... BBC keeps us out of it up until the last moment when they booked all the celebrities, and then they go through the professional list and who they can pair it up with whom. So somewhere in the beginning of summer in June, that's when we get a call and start talking about following season, which starts in September usually and finishes Christmas time. But I would love to be back on Strictly. It's amazing program, and we always, all the professionals have so much fun doing it. Although it's hard work, it's 24/7 once it starts. But like I said before, we love, and that's probably the best we can get out there.
I think that's part of it. I think it does enthuse, the joy that everybody's having. I mean, the celebrities are having, and you are enjoying. I think that comes over on the screen. I sit every Saturday and watch it. I must admit, it's one of the only shows I stay in for. And I'm not that far from Elstree. I know you record in Elstree, and every year I apply for tickets, and every year I can't get them. But never mind. So I mean,
that's the most difficult thing.
I know it is. I know. I keep applying. Anyway, so one last question. I suppose the one thing you'd like to do, when you're on Strictly this year, is to go that one step further and lift the glitter ball.
Getting the glitter ball is ultimate goal, but if I'll have an opportunity to do so, I will go for it. And if not, then I'll just get my celebrity to go as far as possible and become the best dancer they will be able to become, and that would be the best reward at that point.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man, so I'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time today, Pasha.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you.
This is Seklo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seklosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seklo Sounds and listen online, or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seklo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page.
Seklo Sounds is based at the Old Rectory, the home of our studio partner, Interaction MK. They've been bringing arts to life in Milton Keynes for over 35 years. They use the arts to improve the life chances of disabled people and others in challenging circumstances. Through sharing creative activity, their programme helps participants to develop creative, personal and social skills. Visit them at www.interactionmk.org.uk.
changing people's attitudes. Looking to the future in much brighter moods. There's a message glowing in the night sky. Times are changing, soon we'll all be flying high. Can you feel the force? Can you feel the force? Can you feel the force? Can you feel the force?
There we are, that was Liverpool's Real Thing and Can You Feel the Force. In a few minutes we'll be talking to a gentleman called David Priest. He's the man behind Bedrock. He'll explain everything about Bedrock in a few minutes. But first I'm going to play David's original song. It's called Flower in the Rain, and I think there's a story behind this. We'll ask David all about it in a few minutes after we've heard this song.
Dressed to kill, lips are moving, fading thoughts that need removing. Sit gaze in wonder, this page remains unsigned. Sow the seeds, I'm not mistaken, you're imprisoned in my mind. Fight with fate, an offer's made, but then declined. Like flowers in the rain, we're twisted up inside. We'll never be the same. We hear the same old lines. So warm, the looks are proving. Rain and thunder, there's nothing to remind me. Seed has grown, we're mistaken, it's embedded in our mind. But it's too late, the shadows fall, and we're still far behind. Like flowers in the rain, we're twisted up inside. We'll never be the same. We hear the same old lines. You're on a crowded street, I'm in an empty train. Fools in love, they cry in vain. Dressed to kill, lips are moving, fading thoughts that need removing. Sit and gaze in wonder, this page remains unsigned. Sow the seeds, I'm not mistaken, you're imprisoned in my mind. Fight with fate, an offer's made, then declined.
All right, that's David Priest and Flowers in the Rain. Very lucky to have David joining me today. How you doing, David?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. You've done this project, Bedrock. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's an album that I've put together using. I wanted to use as many local musicians that I could. I was putting together an album. It started off as a single that I was recording, and I wanted to use as many local musicians as I could on it. And after making a few inquiries, I had 74 musicians that stepped up. And I knew that was too many to have on one single, so I put an album together and decided that I wanted to do it for charity. I wanted to give back. I've spent 12 years in America, and a phrase they use over there is paying forward, because you never know when something's going to happen to you. And after going through an illness myself, I wanted to pay forward. I wanted to give something back, and so I chose Headway, a local charity that I attend Headway myself, and I wanted to raise some money to donate to Headway.
Yeah, you sent me some details about yourself. I mean, 6 years ago you were living in America, in Oklahoma, and you suffered a brain aneurysm and had a stroke whilst at home.
3 strokes.
3 strokes.
Yeah.
Probably very lucky to be alive, to be perfectly honest with you, I would think.
I know that, yeah. In 2007, without any warning at all, I suffered a ruptured brain aneurysm and a stroke. I was misdiagnosed by a hospital over there. Suffered a stroke while I was at home, and then I was medevaced to Dallas. I suffered 2 more strokes in hospital during brain surgery. I spent nearly 2 months in hospital. I now have a shunt in my head. They've told me that I'll never work again. And I'm going to prove them wrong. I know that I've still got life in me. And through music, I am going to get back on my feet. And it's working.
I mean, yeah, everybody can listen to... I've just heard the track Flowers in the Rain, and they can hear, how good you are as such. I mean, you've been established... Before you went off to the States, you sort of were an established musician in Bedford anyhow, weren't you?
I was, yeah. I've been playing music in Bedford since... Well, I started writing and recording in 78. I went solo in 85. As soon as I discovered the recording studios, I wanted to play in as many as I could. And so I travelled around Bedfordshire, went up into Northamptonshire and then Hertfordshire, finding studios, bringing in musicians as and when I needed them for studio work and live work. I was lucky enough in 86 to have one of my songs recorded by Cliff Richard for a B-side of one of his singles, which in the end he didn't use, but it was such a boost to my ego to know that Cliff Richard had recorded one of my songs.
Wow.
In 86, I had a 45-minute special on Radio Bedfordshire. Again, a wonderful boost to my career. In 91, I was offered a publishing contract with Raining Music in the USA, which I turned down. And then 92, I played Lazy Sunday Festival in Bedford. I'm a big fan of David Bowie.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody in Bedford's attended the David Bowie conventions. I started organising the David Bowie conventions in 83. I did one in 84, in 90. In 1998, David Bowie actually got involved in it. And then I did a large one in 2012 after I came back
Are you doing
from America. David Bowie himself got involved in that one.
Are you doing one this year, David?
I'm not doing one. There is one going on this year, but I'm not involved in it.
You're not involved.
Going on in Derby.
Okay, so there's not one in Bedford anymore,
I
so...
don't know. I'm tied up with the American accent. Do they call it Derby or Derby?
Oh, I don't really mind.
You know, it's Derby.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like the tomato business, so who worries?
It is.
So what, I mean, obviously your career did really well in England. Why did you disappear off to the States?
I married an American lady.
Oh, it's good a reason as anything, I suppose, really.
Sorry?
It's as good a reason as anything, isn't it, really?
It is, but I moved to the wrong part of America.
What, Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, it's cowboy country.
Yeah. Chile?
I did not fit in.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. I found it hard to find work, but I was able to, on the strength of my music, I was able to perform over there. Again, I was solo, but I found it hard. Everybody wanted me to play country music.
Oh.
I wouldn't do it. I wanted to do my own music in my style. And it is like the Blues Brothers over there. You play behind a wire cage in some of these bars.
Really? It's that bad, is it?
And the only way that I could get attention was to sing my songs. And I started writing songs about gay cowboys. I did get bottles thrown at me.
I bet you were probably glad there was a cage, weren't you?
I was, but I got attention. Until I realised that these guys are carrying guns.
I love your style, David. That is... I love your
My wife's saying, will you shut up? Don't do this.
I love it. Love your style. I think that's brilliant. So, I mean, apart from David Bowie, who else is sort of your musical influence?
Back in the 80s, I was influenced by people like XTC and Talking Heads. Ryan Eno, David Bowie. But production-wise, it's Peter Gabriel.
Oh, I know. He's really, I would say he's the man behind that popularised the music video, isn't he, with that Sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer.
I mean, that is an amazing video. I mean, I see it now and it's still, I mean, how he did that sort of 20 years ago is just beyond belief, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a documentary that I've seen about how he puts the backing tracks together by just recording things like hitting an old TV and smashing the screen with a hammer.
Oh, it's unbelievable,
and then
isn't it?
Repeating that noise and using that as a drum beat.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's crazy what he does, but it works.
It really is. I know, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of these, should we say, because he's slightly off the wall, they would say, or slightly eccentric is perhaps the right word to say. There's quite a few of these eccentric musicians around, and they've, Brian Eno was another one, of course, with, he was also with Genesis, wasn't he, as well, I think around the same sort of time, and there's all sorts of
I'm going to correct you there.
Oh, is he not?
Eno was with Roxy Music.
With Roxy Music, so he was, you're right, Roxy Music, another one of my... another band I like, and he was slightly off the wall as well as the sort of very eccentric the way they did it.
Yep.
And the sort of the overtracking which was done in the 80s is unbelievable. If you get to see these bands live, they now can do it live, but the technology wasn't around at the time. It was like re-recording over the different tracks, wasn't it? It was like the old 8-track cartridges in the car. I mean. You're of the same age group as me. You remember the old 8-tracks, but they're no longer around. But you listen to like CDs now.
They're worth some money, though, if you can get them.
Yeah, I haven't got one, I'm afraid. I wish I had.
I've got a player, but I've got some of the cartridges.
Have you? Oh,
yeah.
Well, they're probably worth a few quid as well, aren't they?
I've got just the David Bowie ones, but you can pick them up cheap on eBay.
Can you?
Yeah.
But it's the player you need.
You can't play them.
No. This is crazy, isn't it? It's like. I mean, I've still got in my house. I've still got a CD, not a CD, but a tape machine. An ordinary not reel to reel, but the cassette machine. And you can't get the cassettes. I know some bands are now back re-releasing them, same as they're doing vinyl and things like this, aren't they? Again now, so it's music is coming back into the thing. Because I find CDs themselves a little soulless.
Yeah, there's such a sound you can't reproduce with. Like a vinyl record. I'm sure vinyl will come back.
Well, a lot of bands are redoing stuff on vinyl, like doing limited edition stuff to come out to their fans, which is great fun. Anyhow, you mentioned you set up this project, Bedrock. I'll get my teeth organised in a minute. And you had, 70 musicians?
74 musicians.
74. So how did you whittle it down to the tracks you've got on the album?
I decided to get the album out quicker. It was originally going to be cover versions, but for cost for publishing rights, it was going to cost me £34 a covers album,
That's ridiculous,
the
isn't it?
actual outlay was going to cost me too much, and it was going to hold me back on getting this album out. So I asked the musicians that for this first album if they could supply one of their own songs. Give me a song, I'll put it all together, I'll master it, I'll put it together, and we'll get it out quicker.
Because it's been out just about a month now, the 20th
month.
20th of February it's been out.
Yeah.
And has it sold quite well at the moment, is it?
So I've sold about 80 copies.
Well, that's not too bad. I know you'd like to raise, I know your goal was to raise £500.
Yeah.
So hopefully after they listen, we're going to play a couple more tracks after the interview from the album. Or well, one of them's in the album, one of them's available just to download, I think. Is that right?
One's available just to download,
Yeah.
but the actual digital download now is going to have an extra album with it of 11 remixes on there.
Wow, so it's real good value for money. So, but your goal was to raise originally £500. Is that correct?
And I'll be pushing that album as well. I've got a band together now,
Oh, good stuff.
and we've just been allocated a slot on the first day of the River Festival in Bedford.
Wow, and
on
you're
the
going to be playing there.
19th of July.
So that's July time. That's what's the band going to be called?
Tuesday Priest.
Tuesday Priest, not
Because
Sunday
my
one.
guitarist is I've forgotten his first name. I've forgotten his. He goes under the name of Tuesday Jones.
Tuesday Jones. So that's where you got
Me
the
being
name.
David Priest, we've just put them together.
Yeah,
Tuesday
that's
Priest.
good.
We've got to do something exciting.
So
because
that's the River
it's
Festival. People
it's
can
the
come up
first
and,
day of the River Festival,
which is the Saturday, isn't it? The Saturday
yeah,
normally.
there's going to be a crowd there. So I've told them all, we're going to be wearing Doc Martin boots and dresses.
Yeah.
We've got to rip those dresses off and have sparkly hot pants on.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm starting to like the sound of this. I think I might pop up and see you. I mean, yeah.
You've got to think girls just want to have fun.
Oh, yeah, what a cracking song that is. That's a real party song, isn't it?
Yeah, we are just doing cover versions for the River Festival.
I think but it's great, so people can come on and see you. And will you be around selling the album that day, or?
Yeah, we'll have copies of the album there. That day.
So, I mean, people can come and see you then. I mean, that's a good. I mean, I've been to the River Festival. For anybody who hasn't been, it's well worth visiting.
Oh yeah, I think for those 2 days they've got 50 bands.
Yeah, and they have around about over the two days. They have around about 250,000 people.
Yep,
And it is.
They've got 2 stages. They've got the community stage and they've got an acoustic stage.
Yep. Okay.
And I was lucky enough to get on the main.
You're on the main stand.
Community stage, which is right bang slap in the middle. So
You must know the right people, David.
it's good to know the right people. I
It
think.
does indeed. So it's an absolute pleasure. So I mean, let's quickly go through what the album's called and where people can buy it. Where can people get it?
It's available on Amazon.com and iTunes at the moment.
Okay. And can you get it on? Is it through your website as well?
Yeah, it's available on Priesttronics.com.
Yeah. And it's all to support a really great project, a project called Headway, which helps, I believe, people with head injuries.
Yes, it does. I've been attending there for 2 years for cognitive therapy, and they've become family. They've helped me so much.
So I think it's a touching story you give in. I mean, when you approached me, you said, would I be interested in talking to you? I saw the story, and it sort of left a bit of a lump in my throat. And it's great that people give something back to. I mean, there's too many selfish people around that don't give anything back, and I think it's very.
I'll tell you about my song. That song of mine.
Okay, yeah, tell me about the Flowers in the Rain.
I was that flower. I was, in the rain, and it's, life is so precious.
Oh, too right.
And you just don't know when something like this is going to affect you or your family.
I mean, it must have been a hell of a shock for
crushing.
everybody.
I came out of hospital. I wasn't able to walk, talk, or feed myself. And it was a long struggle. I left America. It killed my marriage. I had $750,000 worth of medical bills. I didn't have medical insurance. It was tough.
Yeah, I can. But it's always nice that also a local boy has done good. I think it's great. I mean, you're going to be playing back in Bedford, back on the main stage of the River Festival, probably the biggest, it's the second largest outdoor event after Notting Hill Carnival in the calendar. So it's a great showcase.
I always use I've been saying it since the 80s, that Bedford has got a wonderful live music.
It has indeed.
And there is more to Bedford than Brussels sprouts. There really is.
There is. I mean, I had a couple of weeks ago. I played a track by a gentleman called Ben Paul, who formerly is from Bedford. I don't think he lives here now, and he's playing at the Esquire Club, or has played at the Esquire Club a couple of weeks ago, and it was a great track. I was approached. They said to me, would I be interested in playing his song, and I listened to it, and it's fabulous. There is so much talent locally. People forget this. I'm going to be doing a show in a couple of months' time with a couple of bands, local bands, and it's going to be like an introducing show. These bands people will not heard of. It's actually a lady called Kelly Oliver and a band called Two Beats Apart. So listen out for that in the next few weeks. I'll tell you when it's going to be on.
Cool.
But so, thank you very much for your time today, David.
Thank you very much.
I don't think that I could control myself, 'cause when I see you smile, drowning in circles, girl, it always seems unfair. Perfect face and hair puts me to the test, but I never get to see the rest. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their kill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, you know I love you still. I don't see myself as an unhappy man. When I see these girls, I wanna do all I can. You may be someone's lover, you may be someone's wife, but as they said on Revolver, got to get you into my life. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their kill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, you know I love you still. I have watched you, girl, sitting in your car. You're okay for now, safe behind your glass. It always seems unfair. Perfect face and hair puts me to the test, but I never get to see the rest. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their kill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, you know I love you still. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their kill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, you know I love you still. I don't see myself as an unhappy man, but when I see these girls, I wanna know all I can. You may be someone's lover, you may be someone's wife, but as they said on Revolver, I've got to get you into my life. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their kill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, you know I love you still. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their kill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, you know I love you still. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their kill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, you know I love you still. Pretty women in cars, sitting there dressed to thrill. Pretty women in cars, sitting there planning their...
Hi, my name's Danielle, and every Monday at 6, I'll be kickstarting your week with the latest local news and events from Milton Keynes. I'll have live guests and feature the people's news. So kickstart your week with me every Monday at 6 p.m. on seclosounds.org.
For the latest What's On information, go to the website www.the-sticks.co.uk.
Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. Yesterday and days before, sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time, till forever on it goes. The circle fast and slow. I know it can't stop. I wonder.
There we are, that's two in a row from the Bedrock album. First we heard Martin Cook and Pretty Women in Cars, saying all of us men like. And then we heard Elise Robinson and Have You Ever Seen? Probably the Pretty Girls in Cars. What a great project that is, and what a great guy David Priest is. Next week on the show I've got somebody very, very special. Not all my guests are very special, but somebody who, from an international group who's touring England at the moment. This is a bit of a clue. It's probably also a little bit of a reference to Pasha. It's called Dance With Me, and I'll tell you who he is after this.
Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. Oh, hold me closer, closer and closer, much closer.
while the music plays. My little darling, won't you dance with me? Oh, hold me tighter, tighter and tighter, much tighter, while the rhythm sways. Put your lips to mine, while the music blends. We're no longer strangers, now we're more than friends. So dance with me closer, closer and closer, and maybe we'll be lovers when the music ends. Whoa. With me closer, closer and closer, and maybe we'll be lovers when the music ends. Darling, won't you please? Oh, darling, won't you please? Oh, darling, won't you please?
There we are, that was Dance With Me by the Drifters. That gives you the answer to the question I posed just before I played the song. Next week on the show, I have the current lead singer of the Drifters, a gentleman called Mr. Michael Williams. Really looking forward to having him on the show. And we're going to be talking about the Drifters and the Drifters' legacy and all the bits about the Drifters, all the obviously the infighting that went on, all the members of the Drifters, and what his twist and all that is. I'm really looking forward to that. That's next week. The following week, I have a gentleman who could do no wrong on TV. Winner of the X Factor, he beat Ollie Mears and Jedward to the title a few years ago. Also went on and won Pop Star to Opera Star. And more recently, he won the TV show The Jump. It's none other than Joe McElderry. He's joining me the following week. Absolutely fabulous to have these guests on here in the future. And great guests I had on today. I'd like to thank Pasha and also David Priest. As always, I've been Terry Sullivan. This has been the Sticks Radio Show. Until next week, it's bye for now.
You're listening to Seclo Sounds. If you'd like to contact us, then send an email to radio@seclosounds.org, tweet us at Seclo Sounds, or Facebook us at Seclo Sounds Radio.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.